so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it, no kidding. Breaking down a swish in front of your building. Sitting on the steps feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole. But you know how it go. I'm front line every time it's sold. 100 proof flow, run and shoot pro. 458 drop, playing bulletproof soul. Every few shows I just buy some new gold. Circle got smaller, everybody can't go. Downtown Diamond District, jewelers like yo. Hustle, holla at me, I got Cubans on the low. Through the Cancun, smoking Cubans on the boat. Then dock that Tulum just to smoke. Look, listening to music at the Mayan ruins. True devotion on the bluest ocean. Cruising, my cultural influence, even revolution. I'm integrated vertically, y'all blew it. They tell me hustle, dumb it down, you might confuse it. This ain't that weirdo rap you motherfuckers used to. I'm a urban legend, South Central in a certain section. Can't express how I curb the Texas. Guesses, evidence of a divine presence. Blessings, held me down at times I seem reckless. Effort, got an L but got an E for effort.
Talk 80, marking the anniversary of Nipsey Hussle, who was murdered on this day in 2019. And I am dedicating today's show to him, as you well know. I'm excited now to welcome in a veteran comedian, actor, radio personality, writer, and entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, quiet as it's kept, J. Anthony Brown. Good morning.
What's up, Dominique? How you doing?
I'm blessed. It's great to hear your voice.
Yeah, I forgot I've done all of that stuff. That's amazing that I've, been able to last this long in this business. I actually started in radio at KBLA. The first time I ever had a radio job was with Rico Reed in the morning. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Wow. Well, Jay, I first met you when I was on the Steve Harvey Morning Show as one of the sidekicks, the Angels, and now I get to compete with you on my own show.
You do with your wings. I said, what did you do with your wings?
I didn't have a weave. I don't think. I don't know, Jay, but I know that.
For the angels. Yes, he did.
Well, I do remember that when I got laid off from that show, you were one of my first customers with my production company, and I had the opportunity and the blessing of working with you, helping to create some of your video content. And so it's two people named Brown, J. Anthony Brown and Jim Brown, who helped me get my business started. So thank you very, very much for that.
Well,
Jay.
at that particular time, I knew how to shoot videos, but I didn't know how to edit them. And so you were a big help, and I appreciate you doing that for me, really.
Well, I appreciated you taking a chance on me. And what people may not know, you would have your annual employee dinners in Beverly Hills. There would be a whole huge table full of Black people that had jobs working for J. Anthony Brown.
So we did that, right? we went to real fancy restaurants too. Yes, yes.
So is that an intentional thing, Jay, where you said, I'm going to hire all these Black folks from my community, or it was just who you happened to hire? I mean, I don't think people realize.
As long as I've been in this business, I've always reached out to Black people to work for me, especially women, and more so than men, to work for me. It's just something that I just, I picked up on it. I think anybody who's in a position to hire people should look within your own color of people to hire, or definitely women or black people who you think that can't do some of the jobs you think they can do. They're very qualified. I think sometimes we get overlooked in terms of pretty much everything, especially in television. If you're involved in television, the behind the camera is where a lot of the money can be made. And I always encourage Black people, Black women especially, to find some interest in that part of the business and participate in it. It's a wide open field, and I have to thank Mr. Tyler Perry for changing the face of behind the screen. Because if you've ever had a chance to go to Tyler Perry's studio, it is 75-95% black, and that's not by mistake. That's what he really strives to hire black people, and especially a lot of black women working over there behind the screen. And if you have a production company, that's what I just think you should do. You should just do that. I'm not knocking anybody who's a different race to get a job. But I'm saying if you have an opportunity to hire your own people, they're qualified. They can do the same thing.
Yeah. I also don't think people realize all of the many things that you've done. Honestly, you said you don't even realize all the things you've done. I do feel like, as famous as you are, you're one of the most underrated talents, comics, writers, performers of our time.
No, it's so weird. And I'm not bragging. I'm really not bragging. So I don't want people to take this as me being a show off. But I am a legend, and
I love that.
Not because of the money that I made, or not because of the status that I have, but legendary in terms of what I've done in this business. And I came to L.A. I drove to L.A. from Columbia, South Carolina, and L.A. and changed my life. It totally changed my life. And all of the things that I was able to accomplish was because I made a bold move to move to L.A. I've been in radio. I've been in television. I've been on movies. I've been on plays. I've written for television shows. I produced my own show. I have a show right now that I produce called The Drake Tank. I've done stand-up comedy. That's legendary stuff. I can't take that away from, it's all because I've been blessed to do all of those things. It's not showing off. It's just that I've done that. That's what I've done,
I don't see it as showing off. Those are all facts. You're not sitting here just using a bunch of adjectives. You're saying these are things that you did, and you do them incredibly well. I've heard Steve Harvey tell the story with you there, and then I've heard it recycled and rebooted on social media. What's the real story of you and Steve? I mean, my understanding is you really did put him on, and I know he's not the only one. You've given a lot of people opportunities to get into this business.
I think the story for Steve and I is exactly how he told it. We met in Nick's Comedy Club, and I think it's in Louisiana. Steve was a young blood. We both were young bloods, in terms of doing this. I think I had been in it just a little longer than Steve. Steve showed up. He had a gimmick that he was going to do to show you how funny how time changed. Steve, he was going to be this comedian with white high top shoes. They had these white high top shoes wrapped in. It's hard to believe now, but he had these white high top shoes wrapped up in newspaper. He said, "This is gonna be different. This is gonna be my hook." So we were doing the show, but before the show, Steve knocked on my door. He said they were gonna put us in the same room. And I'm telling you, when I first started doing comedy, there was something I was never gonna do. I was never gonna leave my house from wherever I lived to go on the road and have a roommate. It just wasn't gonna happen. And I don't care about making $50. I don't care about making $10. You are not going to put two people in one room. I'm a grown lady man, and I need to have a room. So Steve knocked on my door, and he said, "Hey, man, I'm supposed to be your roommate." I'm like, "Oh, hell no, you're not." He said, "Well, I don't have any money." So I gave him the money to go get a room. Then he comes back and said, "Hey, man, do you have a room?" Now, people don't know that I was a tailor before I started doing comedy. I was a tailor. So I used to carry an iron, a sewing machine, cutting tape. I had so much junk so he came back and he asked for an iron. And after that, we just became friends. When he got the job to have his own television show, which was called Me and the Boys, I never forget that Steve was responsible for me getting a writing job. I had never written on a television show. We're sitting in the office. It was Rashawn McDonald, Steve Harvey, and myself, and they were offering Steve his own show. And verbatim, he said, "If you don't take these two guys right here," which was me and Rashawn, "I will not do the show." And neither one of us knew how to write on a television show. And that, that was the start of our friendship. Now, he has fired me 3 times, but he gave me about 9 jobs. So
so you're still ahead on balance.
No. And it's weird because I fired my own son. So hey,
Wow.
I understand. Well, we've been friends for a long time, and I think he said that I was responsible for his career, and in maybe some sort of way, if that's what he says about it, I'll accept it. My start in showbiz, especially as a writer, was because of Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Well, you certainly put a lot of people on, and I think a lot of folks look to you and your style, and you're funny. So that's part of it too. I mean, some of it is the iron in the hotel room, but some of it is your influence in the arena of comedy that touches everybody.
Yes. I think the other thing that really I'm really most proud of was when I opened the J Spot in Los Angeles, California, and I was just listening to your clip in terms of people running for office, how there are no blacks representing. And it's the same thing with comedy. There's not a black comedy club in Los Angeles, California, and there should be. There very well should be. There's been about 5 that startups. But in terms of today, there's not one that exists. And it's almost, in terms of being ashamed, because there's so many black comics that are in L.A. where they don't have a place to, know that they're black comedy nights, don't get me wrong. A lot of the comics who are in this business, Screw the Rule has his own night, and Scruncho has a night, and Precious has a night, and different comics have different nights, but there's not a black comedy club, and I think that's what's missing from L.A. And I think for me, when I opened the J Spot, and I had it for 12 years, it was just a place where black comics knew that they could come and get on stage, because at that particular time, you couldn't get up in Hollywood. You couldn't. You couldn't get up. So I'm in the hotel, and then my roommate, my cleaning lady is knocking at the door. So,
well, we're going to continue this conversation with J. Anthony Brown when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger, to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm talking this morning with J. Anthony Brown, one of my favorite, all-time favorite comics and an award winner. I didn't know you had a Peabody, J. Anthony Brown. I know you've got NAACP awards.
You know, a lot of people who are in radio, I also have 2 NAACP Image Awards, right. But a lot of people are very surprised that I own a Peabody Award, and I received the Peabody Award from being on the Rico Reed show when we stayed on the air for the riots, and we got a Peabody Award, and that's a prestigious award. There's a lot of people who've been in this business for quite some time, writers, and do not have a Peabody Award.
I don't have one, Jay. I do not have a Peabody. So congrats. Yeah, that is very prestigious. And you are a news junkie. I remember when I was working with you, first thing you would do is turn on the television, look at the news, or open the paper. And I think you told me I have to see if we still have a country before I crack the mic every day.
That's pretty much the way it goes now. I participated in both of the No Kings marches. I've done that. I've encouraged people to register to vote. My voice, whenever I'm on stage, I always try to end my show with telling people that these are troubling times that we're in, and it's very important if you can get out there and march to encourage people to vote. A lot of people say, well, what's the use? I think the No Kings March brought about the fact that there's so many people in this country who are sick of the administration that we have, and especially, I'm a Democrat, especially the Republican administration, and it is time to speak out. And I think that's what the No Kings protest march did. It showed everybody that it doesn't matter where you're from, you can participate as a group to show people how you feel and where you stand. And that's just something I believe in. You know, I listen to the news every day. I'm a news junkie. You know, I really am. And especially with the politics that's going on right now, I wish more Black people would get involved in it. I just turned 74. I lived in the South. I didn't participate in the riots or the marches or stuff like that. But I have a voice now, and I think, I mean, even you have a voice now to educate people, to tell younger people that you need to get involved. You need to find out what's going on, and you can make a difference. Even if you're one person, you can make a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's right. How was the experience of the No Kings March for you?
Well, there wasn't a lot of Black people out there, so. But I thought for me, it was something I had to do. You know, it was something I wanted to participate in, and I've done it twice. And to see those people who, and it's weird for me. I think the weird thing for me is that we have said what was going on in this country for years. We have said what would happen if you put this man back in office. We said this. Kamala Harris said this. People who were preaching said this. It was almost like preaching to the choir. Well, now they see that he is just as bad as what we said it was. So we're not surprised. We are really not surprised as to what this administration is doing. Because, you know, it's like your mama would tell you, I told you so. You go out there and you get on that swing, you're going to bust your butt wide open. And that's what's happening to the system. told you this would happen. It's not, and we're not shocked. They're shocked. You know, Hispanic population is shocked. Whites are shocked. White women are shocked. White men are shocked. Black people are way shocked. Where's the shock value in this? We are not shocked about anything that this man does. Now, one thing, because we knew what he would do once he got back in office. And he's worse now, and as the old people say, worse. He's worse now than when he was in there the first time. Because he's figured out how to grip this country. He's figured out how to take away from people who need things. He's figured out how I can say and do whatever I want. I can lie to people, and there's a group of people who will believe everything that comes out of his mouth. Everything.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. How do you take it when Nick Cannon says Democrats are the party of the KKK? You just said you're a Democrat. You've been to these marches, and it seems like there's a whole wave of MAGA celebs.
One of my teachers when I was coming up was a teacher by the name of Kate Patterson, and he had this saying that a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing, and that's what Nick Cannon has. A very smart. I mean, it's almost like he's wilding out on his own phrases. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, the Democrats, yes, the Republicans did free the slaves, but he doesn't also know that white people helped put together the NAACP. It was white people, white money that helped people. The abolitionaries helped a lot of black people. I mean, the Underground Railroad. A lot of white people helped black people escape. He's misinformed. He has a little bit of knowledge about what happened to this country. And yes, the Republicans did free the slaves, not because they wanted to, but because they were running out of white soldiers. So they freed the slaves to allow them to fight for this country. And then when they fought for this country, they went back to slavery, and the carpetbaggers took all the accomplishments that they had away from them. So Nick Cannon doesn't know what the hell he's talking about at all. He has no idea.
And then Chilli from TLC, Rosanda Thomas, was outed by The Independent as having donated to MAGA causes, reposted a meme about Michelle Obama supposedly being a man. But now she's denying it. She put out a statement saying she's not MAGA. It makes me wonder.
Chilli is what we call fine and stupid. And there's a lot of that goes around. Fine and stupid. And I have no problem with you being a Republican. No, you want to be a black Republican, just own up to it. I see them on the Instagram all the time. And I like the ones who own up to what they are. But don't try, as the kids say now, don't try to play in my face that you don't know how to use the Instagram when you got 1 million followers. You have 1 million followers, 1 million. And if you've got 1 million followers, you know how to post, repost, cut, edit, plan. You know how to do that. I'm not going to accept that. I can accept if you could come out and say, I'm a Republican, I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to do it, but do not, as they say, don't play in my face, because you know what you did.
Yeah, I think that's right. Don't play the I'm a Gen X and I don't know how to use my social media.
No, I don't know if you know this old person from back in the day called Stephen Fetcher. You know, he was a black man who played the imbecile, but he talked like, I didn't know how to do it. I just didn't live. It's sometimes they'll back up. You know what? How Chilli sounds. Well, just sitting there and next I know, man, on the internet, I mean, to get back up there, push your button, nigga, push your button.
If you're going to be MAGA, stand on business. We're talking with J. Anthony Brown, and we will continue the conversation right here after news, traffic, and sports, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Final preparations are underway for NASA's Artemis II launch, sending 4 astronauts on a 10-day mission to orbit the moon. Astronaut Victor Glover says there's been a lot of attention to the fact that he will be the first black person to orbit the moon.
I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first. Human history, it's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history.
The crew also includes Christina Cook and Canada's Jeremy Hansen, marking historic firsts. A new analysis shows the gender pay gap widened for the second straight year, with women now earning about 81 cents for every dollar men make. The gap is even larger for black women, who experts say could wait generations for pay parity without major changes. And Don Lemon was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Truth Awards in Los Angeles, celebrating Black LGBTQ+ excellence. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had an easy time with the Washington Wizards Monday night without Luka Doncic. The NBA scoring leader was at home serving a one-game suspension for getting his 16th technical foul this season. The Lakers beat the Wizards 120-101. A triple-double for LeBron, 21 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. The Lakers are at home tonight against Cleveland. The Clippers are also at home tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. They take on Portland. The Clippers are going for their 6th straight win. The same teams in last year's Final Four in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament are back again this year. Texas and South Carolina will join UCLA and undefeated UConn in Phoenix. UCLA plays Texas Friday night. Texas is the only team to beat UCLA this season. The Bruins have won 29 straight since losing to Texas on November 26. More on this rematch throughout the week. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit Genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are talking with Peabody Award winner, NAACP Image Award winner multiple times, J. Anthony Brown. The resume, if I read it, would keep us here all day. You've been in radio, everybody's shows, from Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Tom Joyner, to your own show, done films, done television, written for others on television, and it's an honor to have you with me today. Jay, you were talking about how when you had the club, the J Spot, you filled a hole in the landscape in LA, which is happening all across the country. There are not Black comedy venues. But when I look at the role of the Black comedian in the entertainment landscape, it seems like Black comedy is comedy. They're the most popular specials on our streaming platforms. The mainstream comics are influenced by the Black comics. So what's up with that?
What's up with that is black comedians have saved every one of these white comedy clubs that exist. If it wasn't for black comics in this business, the improv, the ha-has, the chuckles, the whatever kind of funny name you want to give these white comedy clubs would go under. They would not exist. That's why, for me, it's a shame that there's not a Black comedy club in Los Angeles, California. We are the funniest. There's no doubt in my mind that some of these white comics cannot follow us. They can't follow us. They never will be able to follow us. We have the energy. We have the stories. We have the amount of time. And Black comics, we're going to say the word kill is a word that Black comedians, and I'm not just talking males, I'm talking females, I'm talking transgender. If you're of a different race, your comedy is so different from white people, and we have saved it. It's a shame that we're not elevated like white comedians. Every late show is a white comedian. Every club is a white comedy club. They're owned by white people or a group of white people. And we are stronger, and we are funnier, and we're better. And it's a shame. Not even that. We don't get the sitcoms. We don't get the writing jobs. You go into a Black television show, and the room is full of white comics or white writers writing for Black shows. It's just the racism that exists in this business. It's no different. You go to Hollywood. If you go to Hollywood at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is what I had to do, when I was working for the Tom Jones Show, the show started at 3 in the morning. Coming out of that Hollywood studio was Hispanics, Blacks, cleaning up the building. Cleaning up. They get out at 3, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, when I get off, white people are going in there getting those jobs because they got the behind-the-camera jobs that we just don't get. It's racism. And I don't care what nobody says, it's what it is. It is racism that we don't get accepted for our ability that we have. Even in radio, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And when I hear people say, well, y'all had a Black president, yeah, but we ain't got Black producers and Black TV shows except for a small amount. So, I mean, they try, like they say, they try to play in our face of what we have and not in terms of what we need to have right now. So that's just the way it is.
Who are you tracking? Who are your favorites? Young up-and-comers or underrated veterans?
Oh, my God, so many. There's so many. I know he's in trouble right now, but I am Cat Williams, Corey Holcomb, Leslie, Big Lance. I love Precious. I love Samoa is a beast. Cheryl Underwood. Oh my God, Cookie Hole. I love her. It's just so many. Screw the Rules. Scruncho. Memphis Wheels. There's so many comedians that are out there that it's endless. If you go to Chocolate Sundays, and that's the thing that I always felt bad about. LA had every one of these white comedy clubs had what they call a Negro night. Negro night. There's not a Negro club, but they'll have a Negro night where black comics can go up and perform. So, I mean, I just think LA should have one. LA should have a predominant black comedy club owned by blacks, run by blacks, established by black comedians. Now, don't get me wrong. White Hispanics can come. We would welcome you. But there needs to be a black comedy club in Los Angeles, California.
And you did that. You provided that for us for 12 years. But it seems like it's a tough go.
Oh, it is one of the toughest businesses in the world. You know, I'll never open another comedy club. I think the problem was not that it wasn't successful. The problem for me was I had to do the road to keep my club going.
Wow.
I had to, and I just say this to anybody, if you open a business, I don't care if you're selling juice, shoestrings, hats, wigs, I don't care what it is. You know, I don't care. If you open a business and you cannot be there 24/7, you have a hobby. It is not a business. You got to put your all into your business. You have to open the door. You got to close the door. And do not, under no circumstance, hire your family or your friends. Do not.
Noted.
Do not. And it's weird. You've been in this business for quite some time, and you know the most people who will help you in anything you're doing is perfect strangers. A stranger will help you quicker than a person who's known you for years. And the reason they can't help you because they can't envision you doing what it is you're doing. I'm sure when you went into radio, people said to you, girl, you don't know about no radio. You come from, you know, what do you know about radio? How you going to do that? You talk to a perfect stranger. You said, I'm in radio. Really? Well, you know, I have a brother whose name is Bob. He has like 10 radio stations. And he's looking for you.
That's right.
You're not going to get that from your people. You're just not. They don't, because they can't envision you doing what it is you're doing other than what it is they see you doing and what it is they think that you can continue to do. That's all. That's their vision for you. So you're going to get the most help. And hold on a minute. Hold on.
Absolutely. We're talking with J. Anthony Brown, and it's a pleasure to do so. J. Anthony Brown, of course, is one of the most accomplished comics of our time, but also a writer, a radio host, a film actor, and an entrepreneur, which I think is incredibly fitting considering that we are marking the angelversary of the death of Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey Hussle was an artist who had all these side hustles and businesses, not hobbies, but actual businesses where he showed up day in, day out and made sure they were successful. And J. Anthony Brown is the same way. He mentioned, and we talked about the J-Spot Comedy Club, but he also has a hot sauce line. He has a suit collection. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, he employs a lot of Black people. I don't think folks realize how successful Jay is in the fact that he was able to sustain this entire staff of people like myself who worked for him in various capacities. Not all family and friends. Some of us were just professional colleagues. And I was blessed to work on his video content for several years and sitting at these big tables with his employees looking around, as he said, a sea of Black women, a sea of Black men, mostly Black women, running these successful businesses and being given the opportunity by one of our own, one J. Anthony Brown. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Imagine every pregnant person in LA County having the support they deserve. a doula on every block. Doulas provide emotional, physical, and informational support during pregnancy, through labor, and beyond. Medi-Cal now covers doula care. That means you can get the support you need or train to support families in your community. The LA County Medi-Cal Doula Hub is here to help. Learn more and get started today at ladoulahub.com.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Jay Anthony Brown is my guest. He's multitasking like always. I was saying, Jay, that I should say Nip reminds me of you, not you remind me of Nip, because you were doing it first. Hot sauce, your soup collection, the J Spot, a serial entrepreneur. What is going on with all of your many business adventures and enterprises?
Well, I still have the hot sauce. I have hot sauce, peanuts, and wine. And if you want to get involved in this, you should go to J. Anthony Brown Mopo Store, MOFOSTO, to order some of my stuff. I know, and I just finished a production of 6 episodes of a show called The Drink Tank. Now, The Drink Tank came from Mr. Tavis Smiley. When he was on the Tom Joyner cruise, he would do something called the Think Tank, where he would take all these politicians and people who are in politics, and they would talk and discuss about what black people needed to do, you know, in terms of the next step. And I thought it was great, but I also thought it would be a good idea if I did the same concept with comedians. So that's what I did. I've already shot 6 episodes, and I plan to shoot 6 more, and I will release them on my platform. And if people want to follow me, you can go to JandyBrown_ on Instagram. But at 74, this is weird. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on all of them. I'm on all of the platforms.
You stay busy. Stay busy.
Well, I mean I think and when you get older, just finding. I think retirement is the nail in the coffin for a lot of people when they get older. You know, you say you want to retire, but then you retire to what? To do nothing, and that's just for me that's just not the way to go. I want to keep doing this as long. I want to be rolled out on stage. That's what. I want to be rolled out, and that's the thing about doing stand-up comedy or speaking. You can do this longer than you can sing. You can do this longer than you. There's some singers, I won't call their name, who should not be singing now. They just shouldn't. We're not going to call their name. You know who you are. You're lip syncing and you're not even lip syncing on time. You're missing all the words. I won't call nobody's name.
You won't call names, but you might murder the hits.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might murder the hits. Yeah.
Jay, how's your health?
My health is good. I had my thyroid taken out. I've been battling with leukemia for a while, but you keep doing it. There's nothing else you can do but listen to the doctors, try to exercise, try to walk as much as you can. I think what keeps me going is that I have this ability to go on stage at this age and perform. I love it. I love performing for people, even though, and people don't understand this and they can't believe it. Before I do a show, I get so nervous. I mean, it's like I don't want to go up, but I can go up and have a good time. I mean, the stage fright is real for me. It's unbelievable how it's so bad sometimes I have canceled shows because I'm so nervous for going up. It's just something I haven't been able to shake it.
It surprises me because you're one of the most spontaneous comics I know. You can comment on anything. You don't have to just have written jokes. You're just funny all the time. And so that does surprise me. But I remember reading that Billie Holiday said, if you don't get stage fright, you need to retire because it means you don't care.
What's her name? Oh, God. Judy Garland had stage fright so bad they would actually push her on the stage.
Wow.
Carole King, who wrote You're So Vain, her stage fright was so bad that she stopped performing. But she's an excellent writer. And Steve has always said this. I got this phrase from Steve. The scariest words in show business, you know what they are?
What?
You next.
Yeah, that's real. I still get nervous doing my show. For sure I do. And sometimes I think, why do I want to do this? And then afterwards I go, oh, that was fun.
Because you love it. I mean, and for me, and go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
For me, there's no medium exists that is as much fun as radio. It just doesn't exist. There's not. I miss radio so much. When I did it for free, and I got on radio because I did it for. Rico Reed didn't pay me one penny. Now he never bought me a sandwich. He never brought me a soda. He never bought me. But if you read the book Rich Man, Poor Man, he gave me the knowledge to do this radio thing that we do. I learned from hanging out with Rico, and I'll tell you this, and you know this for a fact. Every person who goes on stage as a comedian can't do radio. They cannot.
No,
they're
real
not
talk.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, real talk. They're interesting on stage, but you put them behind a mic on the radio station, and yeah, no, what? And you get nothing out of them. So I think for me, it's a blessing that I can do this, but I miss radio so much. I really miss it. I really wish I was still on the show with Steve Nim, but I'm not.
Yeah, I wish you were too, but no, actually, I'm glad you're not because I compete with them now, so I'd lose a lot of listeners.
Can you tell your boss, Mr. Tavis Smiley, Tell your boss, Mr. Tavis Smiley, next time he gives comedy awards, he needs to hook a brother up, okay?
I agree. I absolutely agree. Like I said early in the conversation, I think you are the most underrated that we have right now in our era. Tavis, I figured you guys had some Tom Joyner beef that I didn't know about.
No, I have no beef with Mr. Smiley. None at all. None. I don't know. No, I don't. I'm too old to beef. Yeah, I'm an Aries. I don't stay mad long anyway. So.
Well, you know what, Jay? I'm glad you said that, because some folks are still beefing, and some folks, Gen X people. I'm not going to name any names, but you know.
Yeah, we're not naming names.
But they're still beefing.
But you know what? As vain as I am, I love a good fight. I do. I love. I can watch people getting beat up on Instagram all day. I know it's sick of me, but especially people who mouth off and mess around and find out, and they get their butt dusted. I can watch that over and over and over. I know it's sick. I know it's wrong, but I love it. This beat between T.I. and 50 Cent, I'm loving it. It's names. Great. Yeah, I'm naming names now. I love it. 50 Cent don't care. T.I. don't care. And he brought his family. That like, don't talk about my mama. Don't talk about me, because my next step is to talk about. My next step is to talk about your mama. That's what we do.
Read the rule book. J. Anthony Brown, it's so much fun to talk with you. I've missed you greatly. Make sure we know how to see the drink tank and keep up with everything you're doing.
J. Anthony Brown _ on Instagram. I post every day. Every day I post. Every day. Sometimes 3 times a day. Yeah, right now I have 95,000. Right now I have 95,000 followers. My goal is to reach 100. So I'm working on it.
Okay, y'all, we can do that. Let's get J. Anthony Brown up to 100K. And the J. Anthony Brown Mofo store?
_ Yeah. Look at that. No _ Yeah. People my age, what is the _ That's the other thing. I think older people should get more involved in Instagram, and it just keeps you connected in terms of what's happening in the world. It really does. Yeah. Listen to the news, and post on these platforms. Oh, if you're not going to post, look at them.
Yeah. Well said. Well, J. Anthony Brown, I appreciate you joining me this morning, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't forget that. Get that message to your boss. Yeah, tell him.
Look, he's coming around the corner right now, getting ready to do his show. So I'm pretty sure he just heard it straight from your mouth.
Tell him he owes me an award. Okay, I want it.
Got it. Noted.
All right.
Have a great day, Jay. And Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got a jam-packed Tuesday show for you. You don't want to miss that. Don't forget to tap in with me. I'm nowhere near 100,000 followers, so it's a great reason to follow me. I'm at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio on all platforms. We are at KBLA 1580, and we're everywhere, especially YouTube, where we stream every single day. And I always appreciate the conversation with you on the air as well as on social media. Like my dad, the great Amiri Baraka, used to say, a person is either free or they're not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. Until next time, KBLA delegation, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Final preparations are underway for NASA's Artemis II launch, sending 4 astronauts on a 10-day mission to orbit the moon. Astronaut Victor Glover says there's been a lot of attention to the fact that he will be the first black person to orbit the moon.
I also hope we are pushing the other direction that one day we don't have to talk about these first. Human history, it's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history.
The crew also includes Christina Cook and Canada's Jeremy Hansen, marking historic firsts. A new analysis shows the gender pay gap widened for the second straight year, with women now earning about 81 cents for every dollar men make. The gap is even larger for black women, who experts say could wait generations for pay parity without major changes. And Don Lemon was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Truth Awards in Los Angeles, celebrating Black LGBTQ+ excellence. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had an easy time with the Washington Wizards Monday night without Luka Doncic. The NBA scoring leader was at home serving a one-game suspension for getting his 16th technical foul this season. The Lakers beat the Wizards 120-101. A triple-double for LeBron, 21 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. The Lakers are at home tonight against Cleveland. The Clippers are also at home tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. They take on Portland. The Clippers are going for their 6th straight win. The same teams in last year's Final Four in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament are back again this year. Texas and South Carolina will join UCLA and undefeated UConn in Phoenix. UCLA plays Texas Friday night. Texas is the only team to beat UCLA this season. The Bruins have won 29 straight since losing to Texas on November 26. More on this rematch throughout the week. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, yo, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA